Hi, this is Jared here again. This time I'm in Clearwater Beach, and it's a terrible day. It's all overcast and looks like it's going to storm and everything. Go figure, that would be my luck that as soon as I find the time to sit down and make this video I've really been looking forward to making, that, the weather would not cooperate with me. But, anyway, I wanted to make a video today on keeping your skin healthy and good looking and youthful for a lifetime. And I think the first thing to be said, of course, about keeping your skin young looking is that the things that will keep your whole body young are the things that are going to keep your skin looking good too. And I'll go more into this topic when I make my video on my current fundamental theory of aging. But I do want to touch on this topic because I think the best thing you can do to take care of your skin is to take care of your whole body from the inside first. And that means eating the same sort of health-supporting diet that I recommend elsewhere with plenty of nutrient-dense foods, of course. However, having said that, there are some particular nutrients and topical treatments that I do think will make a big difference over time, not only based on my own self-experimentation, but also based on animal research and some very noteworthy individual human anecdotes. And the first thing I want to talk about that influenced sort of what I do is these people living in Missouri who basically have some of the best aged skin I think basically anyone has ever documented. And the people there rarely get sick. So the local village doctor, Dr. Kamori, has had little else to do over his long career except document how healthy these people are. And if unfortunately, however, most of his work is in Japanese, so if anyone can read Japanese and would be willing to help me out by translating some of his work, that would be fantastic and appreciated. But I'd be really grateful for that. But anyway, he says he has identified sort of a constellation of sort of nutritional factors and foods in the diet and skincare practices there that seem to be instrumental to the extremely good results they're enjoying. And the first thing he says he thinks is really making a difference for them is their low intake of heme iron, because that chronic iron overload really increases the expression of these matrix metalloproteinases that degrade the structural matrix of the proteins in your skin and elsewhere in your body too. Also, they eat very little meat, and almost none of it is red meat, so they're very effectively avoiding that iron overload collagen breakdown problem. Another factor that he's identified sort of is their high intake of dietary estrogenic compounds, both as soy phytoestrogens and as lignans, and just dietary fiber from their other foods. And basically the effect of that is that he says, is that it stimulates these fibroblasts, these dermal fibroblasts to secrete collagen and elastin. And he's fixated on hyaluronidase, or hyaluronan, or whatever it is, but I think it's a bigger phenomenon than that. But anyway, and in conjunction with vitamin A activity, which for years has been understood by the cosmetic industry to stimulate collagen production, that these two things interact together to stimulate the production of collagen in the skin. And also, and there's really good evidence for that. But another thing he's identified is sort of their high intake of various polyphenol-rich foods that inhibit the enzyme, those matrix metalloproteinases that break down these structural matrix proteins. And also things like green tea and wakame and adzuki beans and stuff like that. These very high polyphenol foods. And also, he's also identified sort of a number of other minor features of the diet, like the magnesium content and zinc content, the calcium content, that he says also help out that process of they're cofactors basically in the production of collagen that seem to be helping them out. But basically, that in a nutshell is sort of the general formula for keeping your skin healthy. That you want to eat a high fiber, high vitamin A diet that is going to stimulate that collagen production process, and also that you want to have a high intake of these polyphenols that inhibit the breakdown. And as far as topical treatments, that brings me in sort of to this issue of topical treatments. Because the people there, he documents how the people there have sort of these skincare rituals that involve the application of topical polyphenols, polyphenol-rich mixtures to their skin. Usually things like rice bran, which has been used in Asia for centuries, all over Asia. Adzuki, crushed raw adzuki beans, and also wakame and green, and also other things like green tea and citrus and various other minor components. And I myself, I use this exact mixture on my skin, and it's just completely transformed my skin. What I do is I take non-stabilized rice bran. I get a bag of that at a health food store, and I take non-stabilized rice bran, mix that with adzuki, with ground up adzuki beans and wakame and green tea and just whatever other minor goodies I have on hand that are sort of polyphenol-rich things. And I grind that up in a coffee grinder and then mix it in with the rice bran. And use it as sort of like a scrub. I get in the bath and scrub that mixture into my hands and face, and with water, and just sort of let it sit there for a while, and then I rinse it off in the bath and just sort of soak in it for a while. And this stuff is so fantastically good for your skin. If you want to impress strangers, do this. Everything I've described here, and just let them feel like most people have sort of a lot of rough spots, especially like on their elbows or something. I have none of that. You feel how soft and smooth my skin is. It's like a baby's. And I have no doubt that if I keep doing what I'm doing, my skin is going to age really well, even in advanced old age. It'll still be pretty good. I'm willing to bet. I mean, who knows? But I have certainly seen a lot of benefits so far, and I think I'm going to continue see a lot of benefit from what I currently do. And I think sort of, and then after I'm done doing all that, I also rub either extra virgin olive oil or rice bran oil or almond oil into my skin, my wet skin. And that's an important point. It needs to be wet skin because for whatever reason, I think it's the polyphenol-rich oil. It turns off these enzymes that inhibit the production of these, because it stops these enzymes that inhibit the production of these matrix proteins. And these matrix proteins trap water, right? And so you really want to add that to, or you want to apply those oils to like dripping wet skin, because they'll plump up and retain a lot of water as you're doing this. It's actually lots of fun to watch. And also, I've noticed sort of an interaction between all of this stuff with probiotics. There is, which makes sense because the fiber, these lignans break down into these phytoestrogens on the basis of gut flora activity. Um, but anyway, I think what's sort of fascinating about this whole narrative that Dr. Komori has made about and come up with about skin health and health in general is really interesting because if you look at a lot of these healthy elderly people who flaunt their wonderful skin, like Bernardo Lapayo and Gian Calment, you see sort of weird shadows of this exact narrative in the form of, Bernardo Lapayo rubbing olive oil onto his skin instead of rice bran oil or something, and their diets totally line up with what he describes too, and I think this gives us sort of hints also to a fundamental theory of aging as well. But I'll save that for another video, though. So have a good one. Hopefully the weather will get better.